Good morning from the Ticket and Transportation Center. We are on our way to Epcot. It's easy to walk over here from the Polynesian. Then you hop on the monorail and you have an enjoyable trip around the world. We are unfortunately on our last day at Epcot and we're really glad to have you along with us. Here we go. There's something fun about starting on the monorail, aren't you? Wouldn't you agree? I love riding the monorail in the morning. It's just calming, awesome, and it's one of the nice pleasures you get for staying at the Polynesian, which is why we like staying here so much. I have to be honest, I like how they're describing the play pavilion without it being open. A fun new city built on the power of play. That sounds like Disney to me right there. And we're off, heading to my personal favorite park. We decided we're going to try rope dropping Frozen. This morning went like this.
49. The worst one yet.
Yep, we're boarding group 49. Michelle did every single one of our boarding groups this trip because I wanted to prove that it's not just me having some kind of skill. Michelle doesn't like using technology sometimes, especially the app. And, and so she went for it each time and she got a boarding group each and every time.
And the first one of the day, at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, every time, the 7 o'clock boarding group. We didn't have to wait till 1 o'clock any day to get a boarding group for Guardians of the Galaxy. So, in we go. And like that, we're in. It was a little bit of a pain. We got in the pass holder line because it was shorter. It's not always faster, but this time it looked like it was, and then as soon as we got in it came to a dead stop because someone at the front couldn't grasp the concept that they shouldn't be holding up the line. And they literally blocked the turnstiles so that the rest of us couldn't go through. And Disney couldn't move them without being over nasty to them, so we got hung up. But we're making our way over to Frozen. We should definitely get on Frozen pretty quickly though. So we're looking forward to it. Here we go. And here we are in the lovely land of Norway, home of the trolls. Also, stave churches. By the way, if you don't know what that is, that structure right there at the front of the Norway Pavilion is a stave church. The Nordic people build their churches upwards in this way. It's kind of a traditional way for them to do that, and I think it's pretty awesome that Disney recreated one of the oldest stave churches. Now this one, they did use construction materials, but just so you know, the original stave church that this is based off of used no nails, and it looked much like this. Yeah, the sign outside said 20 minutes. It's gonna be like 10 at the most. This line is moving. This line really moves. Frozen loads quickly, which is a good thing. I love how Michelle comes in this pavilion and still sees wonder every time.
Hello! Like warm hugs too, yeah? Come on, let's go and play. Got some plastic, it was awesome fun. She's making everyone a snowy summer day. First time in forever. First time in forever. To say what I can do to test the limits and break
Ride's always fun, but then you start the long walk down to the gift shop, down this long, boring hallway. You'd think they could at least put something in here, you know, like posters for the Summerfest or something. I don't know. But we always love that ride. It's a good way to start our day. Except for the fact that I'm starting my day with my butt wet now. I want to thank Remy's and Test Track and Frozen for making Soarin' a walk-on ride. Because it used to not be. One of the things that kind of bugs me is when cast members give you instructions. They're not giving you instructions to be jerks. As we're boarding into this, there's a couple in front of us. He directed them down Concourse C. Instead of going down Concourse C, they turned and looked and saw that Concourse B had less people in it and just turned and walked down it. Follow instructions. It's not that hard. You learn that in kindergarten. Just reminding you that our favorite way to ride Soarin' is in row B1. So when you get down to the terminal and they let you in, all you do is you ask to be on row B1. Not that hard, right? B1's the best. Michelle needs coffee. She gave, that's the I need coffee face, and I don't blame her because I need some tea. And like I said, if you ask nicely, they will ask you to wait underneath this sign for the next flight so that you can get on it. Remember, you're gonna have to wait for an extra round through the ride, but you will get on B1 if you ask nicely.
When the doors to your flight open, please take a seat and store all carry-on items in the underseat compartment. This includes cameras, purses, hats, and of course, these little beauties.
Ready to smell the grass and all the other fun stuff. Go B1. These are the mechanics that were designed off of an erector set to move these seats. I'll tell you one of the things that I love about Soarin'. It's one of the only rides that when it finishes, there's always somebody who claps. I think that is so cool about that ride, that people love it so much that they applaud it when it finishes. And we literally just walked on Living with the Land and very nicely requested front row, and they gave it to us, which is our favorite way to experience the greenhouse. And then we're going for coffee, because I promised Michelle. Seriously, will someone let that dog in? It's been there for years.
Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
Grogu, don't get too excited. No eating fish eggs. No, no, bad Grogu. Don't eat the fish eggs. I said no.
More than 50,000 edible plant species in the world. Most of us are only familiar with the handful that make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here, wheat, maize, sorghum, and millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our global food consumption.
I found coffee for Michelle. There's some cucumbers. I want to remind you, a couple years back, a lady got trespassed because she stole a cucumber. You are dumb.
Natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants.
9:30 a.m. and Soarin' leapt from 10 minutes to 40 minutes in the 15 minutes that we were on Living with the Land. Because we got off Soarin, it still said 10. We got off Living with the Land, and now it says 40. This is why you go to Future World and you try to get as much done as possible. We have done 3 rides in 90 minutes. And that includes our slow mosey around the park while we do it. We are Epcot experts. This is why you should trust us for your tips. Just remember that one of the longest lines of the day is the mid-morning coffee line. This Starbucks here at the Connections Cafe is your standard Starbucks that you can find anywhere. So if you're looking for something special, you want to head to Joffrey's, but the Starbucks here does have some very good drink offerings.
Surprise! Surprise!
By the way, we're very excited because friends of ours from back home were randomly here in Florida and decided to come to Epcot to join us today. Had no idea they were here. But Brittany and Amber are with us today, and it's completely not planned, and we're very excited to have them here with us. Woohoo! By the way, I want to point out with these JAMMitors, you see the guy in the center there has a blue badge. If you ever see a cast member with a blue badge, that actually means that they received the Spirit of Disney Award, which means that they were awarded by their peers. They were nominated by their peers. They can't be nominated by above them for embodying what Walt Disney meant to the company. And every single person who you ever see with a blue badge, you can definitely tell they deserve it because they are the most humble and amazing people just from brief interactions with them. Well, boarding group 49 just got called. It's about 10:20 in the morning. Not too long for that to be called up. So we're heading in. Hopefully we'll be on the ride quickly. This ride is incredible. Our friends don't have a boarding group. We feel bad for them because they can't go on this ride because it's so awesome. But we're glad to be able to bring you along with us. I have to be honest, the voice that's in here is a little on the disturbing side because it sounds like it's giving you propaganda about how peaceful Xandar is. I actually believe that Xandar is peaceful based on like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but it's just weird because it's like, our place is peaceful. Don't you hear it being peaceful? I really feel like the line in here is designed very cleverly. Like you don't really realize you're kind of moving in a very tightly woven space because they did a very good job of utilizing the space using the curved lines and having the screen over your head so that you're not really paying attention to being in line in there. So I think it's done really, really well. By the way, hope you see the Xandarian hidden Mickey.
Trains run day and night, thanks to our new...
I really appreciate the fact that this queue is set up as if it's like a World's Fair showcase. And it's supposed to be like this extra showcase where you learn about the people of Xandar before you know, go on the ride with the Nova Corps. And it's a fascinating little, well done, like here's some piece of information about Xandar, and Xandar is really cool and it does all these really cool things, and here's the Xandarian Nova Corps ship, and it's pretty a fascinating way to push you through this queue while making it remind you of like the World's Fair showcases back in the 60s.
Wonders of Xandar too.
Well, that was totally what I did. And Epcot, too, because I love that place. It's awesome. I went there as a kid, and I mean, I cannot wait to get to go back and ride Horizons. Also want to see the energy, dinosaurs, and of course, hear the veggie fruit music.
Star-Lord's going to be a little disappointed when he actually comes to Epcot then.
Greetings, Terrans. I am Nova Prime Irani Rayan, commander of the Nova Corps.
What's happening?
I'm not sure. Our power's out. And the cosmic generator is gone.
Cheerio, Mark. Go to Code Red. Prepare the fleet.
the way, this is the load system they have here. It's actually really fast. Once you get out of the pre-show, you get a really good, you get loaded into your car. It's very fast, and then off they go around the corner there once they're released. Heading to save the galaxy. I like how that window with the line in it looks like there's a whole, like, looks like it's like in an emergency space because they have it red on that side. It doesn't look red when we look through it into here, which I find interesting. And Michelle and I have requested row 1 because it's amazing. Are you excited?
Nope.
No? No, it's only our last time probably getting to ride this ride, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, they're headed for the jump point. This plane is never gonna work. Rocket! Well? Okay, I've locked onto your vehicle.
We'll be right behind you.
Nothing to worry about.
Unless we cannot stop this unusually large man, then you're likely doomed.
Thanks, Terrence.
And welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We have no room on our ship for these new cars.
Drax, it's an honorary title. They're not coming with us.
I see. It is meaningless.
Well, then welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love that ride. We got Kunga again, so we are 2 for Kunga, 1 for September, and 1 for Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. I still maintain that September was my favorite, but Kunga is definitely a close second. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah, I like those two.
You like those two? Which one did you like better, Kunga or September? I like Kunga, it's so much fun, but I have to be honest, I already do not like Tears for Fears. I don't think it fits. I think they use it because it's everybody wants to rule the world and that's the line that they use, but it's not as exciting as the ride is. That's why I like September and Kunga better. But now we're heading over to the Italy Pavilion, and one thing I want to point out is that we have 2 random friends with us that weren't originally going to be on our reservation, so the original reservation only has Michelle and I. If you ask nicely, at the pavilion, there's a high probability they can add up to 2 people. I wouldn't try to add more than that, but we're gonna try asking the people over at Italy to add our friends to our reservation so they can try the best pizza in Disney World. Thanks to our boarding group being called for Guardians of the Galaxy, we're running a couple minutes late for our reservation. Just know you have about a 5 to 10 minute window when you are running late for a reservation. Just try to be there as soon as you can, and if you're kind about it, they'll get you right in. Really do like the Lady and the Tramp topiary here as well. But Via Napoli, by the way, is all the way in the back of the Italy Pavilion if you were interested in it. And Michelle and I really do believe that Via Napoli is some of the best pizza on property. So we've had reservation success. Our 2 friends are going to be able to join us at Via Napoli and experience one of our favorite restaurants with us. We're really excited to have Amber and Brittany joining us on this experience. I always tell people, make sure to look up from time to time. This lamp has these glass fixtures on it. These are handmade, hand-blown glass on that light fixture. It's just such a pretty little thing. Just make sure when you're in Disney that you look up from time to time. Here's one of the reasons why. Isn't that gorgeous? Since no one is sitting at it right now, I wanted to show this really long, like, family table. It's broken up into different groups of chairs, but I always like that about this. And then there's our 3 pizza ovens. You have Stromboli, Vesuvio, and Etna, and they are named after the 3 volcanoes in Italy, and I love the designs on them. And this is where they make the wood-fired pizzas, and they hand toss them and sauce them and everything in this open kitchen here at Via Napoli. Absolutely love this restaurant. All right, Amber and Brittany, what do you think of the decor here in Via Napoli?
I'm impressed. I mean, it's very detailed, and I went just into the bathroom and they have maps and blueprints of what they wanted the place to look like, and it makes it special, I think. Very cozy, very homey. I like it.
Michelle and I got to share the taglieri. We have a prosciutto, a mortadello, we have a fontina, and a parmesan, and this is, I don't remember. I will put the name of it underneath right now because she said it so fast I lost it. But we are very excited about this. It's their version of a charcuterie board, and it's excellent here. All right, so charcuterie board has been attacked. I love it. The prosciutto here is just incredible. I actually really like the burrata cheese. That's the cheese I can remember earlier. I really like the burrata cheese, and the fontina was excellent as well. I think my favorite is the prosciutto and the mortadello. Just the flavors go really, really nicely. Not too salty, but just the right amount. Michelle's trying to not put food in her mouth, but she can because I think she should, because it, you know, shows that she likes eating it. But she has a piece of the salami with the burrata cheese on top of it, and it's everything on the charcuterie board is excellent. And I ate all the offensive olives so that Michelle didn't have to. It wasn't going to, but the charcuterie board, excellent. So Brittany and Amber got the prosciutto and melone pizza, and so did Michelle. So we have a lot of those on the table. Michelle also got herself a Sicilian sunset. What do you think of Sicilian sunset?
Really good.
Yeah? What's good about it?
Orange jello.
How about you, Amber? Do you like yours?
Yes, I do. It's delicious. Full of happiness.
And I got the picante, which is a spicy pizza. It has a picante sauce on it, but it also has spicy sausage, and I add pepperoni. And I also added a Peroni beer. I've already talked about Peroni beers before, but Peroni beers are nice and light, and they complement spicy food very, very well. And so that's why I decided to go with that. And I have my unsweetened iced tea. But everything is looking very delicious, and we're going to find out what everybody thinks in a moment. You guys excited for your first Via Napoli pizza? So before Michelle and I review the pizza, I want to tell you a little fact that I love about Via Napoli. Via Napoli specifically looked for a pH of water that matched the water in Napoli to make their pizza crust with. And they found it in Pennsylvania, where we're all from. So that the water they use to make the pizza here is shipped down here from Pennsylvania so that they can make the crust the way that they think it should come out in Napoli. How about that? Aha! Pennsylvania for the win. We have the best water for the best pizza. So Michelle and I finished our pizza. I'm gonna talk about mine first. I got the picante again. The pepperoni, I add pepperoni, and the pepperoni cups up the way it's supposed to. If it's good, real pepperoni and not like, you know, the Hormel trash, it will do that when you cook it, and it's so good, especially that spicy sausage. I add a little bit of Parmesan and red pepper flake. Be careful with the red pepper flake here. It is super hot. You put too much on your pizza and all you're gonna taste is red pepper flake, and your mouth's gonna be on fire for hours. Michelle got the prosciutto e melone, which has the cantaloupe, arugula, and prosciutto on it, and what'd you think?
It was terrible.
It was terrible. She ate every last piece. I really like it. I think the melon adds a freshness to it with the arugula, like slightly sour flavor. Like it's really nice combination, and the crust is just great. Would you agree? So our friends also got the prosciutto e melone pizza, and so we're gonna see what they thought.
Well, I thought it was fantastic. I loved how you get the protein, you get the pizza deliciousness, and then you get the refreshing part of the melon, especially on a hot day. It's like, and I did put a lot of the red pepper flakes, and it was very different. So you just have to figure it out.
And we got the large, which is definitely a 3-person pizza, not a 2. But it was very delicious, and we'll have our to-go bag for later.
So Michelle and I have decided to not get dessert because we're going to go to the food booths. We'd rather get the food booth desserts because there's so many choices out there in the World Showcase. One of the things I'm going to talk about at this restaurant is if you get put into the main room, you can hear it. It's noisy and cavernous in here. There are some quieter rooms. You can request them if you want. We just kind of were like, we'll take whatever we get. But the back room and the garden room are both quieter, and I would recommend if you're interested in being a little quieter, you can do that. This room again is beautiful, but it's very cavernous, and the sound kind of like travels throughout. But we love Via Napoli. We come here almost every time we come to Walt Disney World, at least once. Yeah, it's just amazing food. The service is always great. The setting is amazing. It's nice and cool in here too, and we love it. So one of the things I just want to talk about here are the Harmonious barges that are out there. while I personally don't have a major issue with the way they look, a lot of people have a complaint that they are rather, well, ugly. And I would agree for the most part. But the main thing is that Disney claimed that they're going to be using them like fountains. And as you can see, they're not running fountains. We have not seen them running fountains in any of our visits here to Epcot recently. Look, Disney, there's a lot of people who feel that the fountain look was going to look awesome. But for right now, as Michelle puts it, she feels like there's just this eyesore in the middle of the lagoon when you used to be able to look across it and have a great view. I would just recommend just turning on the fountains like you said you were. Like, no one seems to understand why they haven't turned the fountains on. So that's just a thought.
That's all over the floor, Dr. Franklin. It seems one stroke of this pen brings 2 changes from Congress. I told you John Adams should have written this.
Oh, gave prison to millions. Anti-slavery is no longer a thing to be prevented. It is grown to abundant, to be snuffed out.
Justice! We ask equality be guaranteed to us and our daughters forever!
Well, here we are, back in the heat of Franklin's Philadelphia again.
Blast if the timber thieves have their way.
John, you may be right, but the country's growth is putting a tremendous demand on our resources.
Any fool can destroy trees. Why, for more than 3,000 years, God has cared for our giant sequoias, saved them from drought, disease, avalanches, and floods.
And lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Spare a dime? Sure. Buy 4 of my apples, and I'll loan you back to 10 cents.
Hey, Sam.
Well, Mr. Twain, what do you think of our America now?
I think the founding fathers never dreamed of an America like this.
Of course not. We weren't dreamers. We were visionaries. That is why our Constitution withstands the rigors of time.
One of my favorite shows here at Epcot is the American Adventure. We actually literally hopped into it like with a couple seconds left before they started it, which was actually fortuitous. We unfortunately missed the performance of Voices of Liberty because we got here just right as the show started. But I love that show. It's a lot of fun. The animatronics are really, really well done. And if you don't know, this theater has a massive rake to it, which the rake is the angle at which you come in. And the reason why it's like that is actually because they store all of the animatronics like underneath the seats. So that's a pretty cool little thing. It's a little factoid as to why it's like up on the 2nd floor, because technically it's actually sitting over top of the storage for all those animatronics. Well, we're gonna head back out into the park and see what we can do. It's a little hot back here in the American Adventure, so I decided to get myself an 81 Bay Orange Coriander Wheat Ale. I really like this one. I've had this one before. It's got a good fresh flavor, but the orange isn't too far forward, and it tastes really good while you're kind of like cooking, which is one of the ways I kind of like why I like to enjoy this one, because it kind of cools you off and it tastes good while you're doing it.
Thank you. We hope you enjoy this performance by Matsuriza. Please enjoy the rest of your day here at Epcot.
One of the longest running performing groups here in Epcot is Matsuriza. They're a Japanese taiko drumming group. Excellent musicianship and athleticism, and the lady who is currently walking towards the far corner has been running it since it started, which is just incredible. She's always been here, and I'm really glad that it survived the COVID layoffs. When you come into the Japan Pavilion, if you go out the back exit of Mitsukoshi and look off to your right, you can see Bojitsukan, and that is the museum that they have here. And they, for a number of years now, have had this Kawaii culture, which is the cute culture of Japan display that has been in here, kind of showing off a lot of that cute kind of traditional of Kawaii. All these museums here in Morocco and Norway, they're often nice, cool spots that you can come in, and they're not often filled with a lot of people. But our friends Brittany and Amber wanted to check it out, so they did. Michelle and I took a quick tour into the France shops. I'm going to point out this toy right here. So this toy is a wearable remote control buddy. It actually has the ability to like run all over you. If you stick it to your shirt, you can drive it all over your shirt. I think it uses a magnet between it and your shirt, and then you can basically drive it all over your body, which is cool and creepy at the same time. Michelle just said how impressive it is, how large the building is for Guardians. And now Guardians is at the back of the image right now, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for you. That building, remember, is all the way on the far side of World Tomorrow. And that blue color we found out is a patented color from Disney called Bye Bye Blue. They have Go Away Green and Bye Bye Blue, both of which are patented, but that building is massive. Gonna remind you, we are kind of at the backside of England right now, and that building is massive for Guardians of the Galaxy. The ride's awesome too, so, you know, it needs a massive building. And of course, Michelle and I have made our way into the Mexico Pavilion so we can get margaritas. Probably our last time at La Cava for this trip. So sad. I normally get the Pozal Borrego, but I got the Montelobos Pechuga at the recommendation of Jose behind the bar here. Michelle got the top shelf margarita, and I got a blood orange margarita, and two of our favorite servers, Jose and Denora, are here today. So nice to have them. And I'm gonna try this Montelobos and let you know what I think. Oh yeah, that Montelobos Pechuga is excellent. It's amazing. Jose recommended it, and he was absolutely right. It's got a really good smokiness to it, but the mezcal burn is just perfect. Loved it, loved it. That was excellent. Great. Thank you, Jose. That's what we call a tequila hidden Mickey here at La Cava. I absolutely love the servers there. They always remember us. Denora and Jose are just fantastic. And of course, Najeli, who we talked to earlier this week. But we have, again, blood orange margarita, top shelf margarita, and my Montelobos Pechuga mezcal.
So every time we come here, at least once a trip, usually once a visit to Epcot, have to come to La Cava to get a margarita. These are some of my favorite margaritas ever. And I think it's because they use quality ingredients. A lot of the margaritas around property are more filler and juice and sugar than tequila, but here it's like the best of everything. And I usually get the top shelf, sometimes the blood orange, but they have a bunch of choices to choose from, and can't go wrong.
What do you think of Grand Fiesta Tour?
Fun.
Double thumbs up. Busted.
The contraband.
Oh, have you ever seen this boat floating out on the lagoon? I like to refer to it as the most dangerous boat in Disney because it is loaded up with pyrotechnics. That is the pyrotechnician boat, and you will often see them around this time starting to load in some of the pyrotechnics for the show. They've been actually kind of at it all day, but yeah, that's the pyrotechnic boat, and I always like to call it the most dangerous boat in Disney. Stopped at the Northern Bloom, and I got myself the beef sirloin tips with potatoes and a mushroom bolognese sauce, and I got myself a flight, which includes Glutenberg Blonde Ale, the Collective Arts Brewing Blueberry Fruit Beer, and the 81 Bay Brewing Apricot with Maple Syrup Beer. They all sounded interesting, but I've been looking forward to these sirloin tips all trip. So the entire plate from Northern Bloom of the sirloin tips, excellent. Very much worth the amount of money I paid for it. Good value for my money, especially with the beef. It was well cooked, very well seasoned. The mushroom sauce, perfect. And the mashed potatoes and carrots complemented the dish excellently. Currently, I'm working on the beer flight. And I'd have to say that the blonde ale is just exactly what I was expecting. I actually thought it had a little bit of a fruit aftertaste to it, which is pretty good. The blueberry fruit beer definitely lives up to its name. You taste all the blueberry in it. I like that. And then finally, the apricot with maple syrup. That tastes exactly like I was expecting it to. It's in the description. It tastes just like it's described. Apricot with a little bit of maple syrup sweetness on the end of it. All three of the beers are excellent. I think the blonde was my favorite, but I'm a little bit more of a traditional beer guy. But all three of them are good. I would definitely drink them again. Definitely get the sirloin tips again. That was some good stuff. So, if you can see that little piece of equipment that's there in the center of the screen, that is the pneumatic fireworks launcher that Disney uses for their fireworks. A lot of people think that Disney uses traditional fireworks. They actually don't. They actually use these pneumatic launchers to time exactly when to put the firework up into the air. They don't use what's called a launch charge to get it up into the air. They use these pneumatic tubes. One of the things that they do also is that each of their fireworks has an electronic chip on it that's radio controlled so that that firework explodes at exactly the right time. On average, Disney spends at a Disney park between $45,000 to $60,000 for the fireworks show per night. Just to give you an idea, your average city fireworks show, we're not talking about like big cities like New York or Philadelphia. We're talking about like your local town city fireworks show will cost you between $15,000 and $20,000. I know this because I used to do those kinds of pyrotechnics, but that pneumatic tube and those electronic radio-controlled launchers is how Disney makes theirs precisely lined up with the music. Do you see the flock of birds? There's signs all over this park that talk about don't feed the wildlife. When you feed the wildlife, stuff like this happens. Then they become too accustomed to humans and bad things happen. Amber, Brittany, and I decided to come watch Awesome Planet. This is, you know, it's inside the land pavilion. You kind of, if you're not paying attention, you might walk right past it. But it's pretty good. We almost did walk past it, but Amber was like, no, it starts in 2 minutes. Let's go in.
And air conditioning.
Yeah, that too, but.
And seats.
So ladies, what do you think of Awesome Planet?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Like,
high def pictures. They're really, really high quality.
The lightning effects and the mist.
The 4D scene is a little bit off. 3. Can we wait for a front row?
Yeah, you can do front one right now.
Yeah. Thanks, Abraham. Yeah. So you liked it?
Yes.
Hold on, let me get Brittany in there. Yeah, it's good. I like the high def pictures, the good quality and the imagery, stuff like that.
I always love the Planet Earth tech stuff. So.
Yeah. So the conservation stuff is always fun. Thoughts on living with the land, ladies?
That was so cool. It was nice and relaxing and a really good ride to do at this time of the day when you're super hot and tired, and it's just relaxing, learn about nature, and I like air.
Huh?
Cool air.
Stop stopping. We have to keep walking.
Yes, we have to keep walking. We have to get on the next ride. But all of the engineering that they're doing with the plants and seeing all the fish in their containers and just everything is so cool.
That was amazing. They have plants that they're hanging because it helps them grow better, and plants, like, was it tomato plants that are just, the roots are right there
just
hanging?
Like all the nutrients.
And they're putting them through this conveyor thing that sprays nutrients on them because they're trying to see if they can grow them without soil. It's pretty cool. Very cool.
See? I'm not the only one who likes living with the land around here. Amber and Brittany, I got you a little bit on the ride. What'd you think?
That was amazing.
Probably my favorite ride.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to kick everything in the video because it makes you feel like you're going to, and I fell for it, and whatever.
And you also screamed. Oh, I wish I got that on film.
That was,
oh, yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, it definitely takes you by surprise. It was great.
I scare easily, and people like that, so cool.
It was good. You'll like keep moving out of frame for me. There you go. So you guys,
short.
Final thought.
Oh, definitely do it.
5
definitely
stars.
do it.
Definitely do it.
Yes.
Soarin's amazing. Soarin', like I've said this before, Soarin' used to be my favorite ride in Disney World. And then Flight of Passage came out, and that one took over. And then Rise of Resistance just blows them both out of the water. So if you want to know my top 3, there you go. You just got it. It's Rise of Resistance #1, Flight of Passage #2, Soarin' #3. If we're talking about thrill rides, then I have to throw in Everest, though. This duck totally wants us to get his good side. Yeah. Whack, whack. No, we don't have any food. But what I really wanted to show you was where we have found we like to watch Harmonious from. That is right by stanchion 10. You get Spaceship Earth in the background, especially when it's doing all its LED color changes. You can see the hoop, and you can see everything you need to see for Harmonious. And we need a reserved spot for 4 people. Sometimes Epcot gets the best sunsets. All right, thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, it was fantastic. You got to do it. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's worth the wait.
Did you like all the pre-show stuff?
I did. I thought it was very well organized and interesting, and it was good. It was very well done, especially for something with a lot of people.
Yeah. Definitely. Did you like row 1?
Yes. It was so much fun. Best row.
Yeah, wasn't it fun like when you got launched backwards too?
Oh, yeah. I was
Were you
not
expecting
expecting
that at all?
No, not at all. I was just glad my scrunchie didn't fall out.
If you link me, by the way, I can send you your picture.
Yes, we'll do that.
We'll figure that out.
Okay.
All right. But so, would you do it again?
Yes, 100%. 10-minute wait.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
See, Michelle, it's a great ride. I know you love it too. What is that? What's that?
Blood orange cider. Juice.
Your favorite in Epcot because you get it like every time. And here we are, ready for Harmonious. Reactions.
Amazing! It was beautiful, and you said that they timed the fireworks with the music, and that's exactly true. I was very impressed with the type of fireworks they used, when they went off.
Yeah, I always tell people it's not the bangs, it's the flashes. Yeah, they time it to the flashes.
Everything. Even like the chandelier ones when the music is softer. It's beautiful.
They're so pretty. I like Coco's best.
Which one?
Coco.
Coco?
Coco.
Actually, I like that Dark Millennium song the best, personally. But it's still pretty good. Trying not to block you, getting all the light from the torch.
Yeah.
So, first time Epcoters since like the 90s.
Since forever.
What'd you think?
Very good to experience it as an adult. Be able to move around more, and thank you again for giving us all the pro tips and helping us see more than we would have known to do on our own. So.
Thanks for being on my video.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like our 3rd time seeing it. What'd you think?
It's growing on me.
Yeah, me too.
It still kind of feels, I don't know, disjointed, or I don't know. It doesn't quite flow the way I'd like it to. But I enjoy it. It's really pretty.
I agree with Michelle. I feel like it's got like jump cuts in it. That's like, I think my main problem is that it's got like jump cuts in it. But after seeing it now 3 times, I like it. Like, I don't mind stopping to watch it now. I just wish that you could watch it from the entire World Showcase. I feel like you have to be at the front of the back in order to watch it because of the hoop. I'm gonna call it the hoop. Some people call it the Stargate. You know, it's like, Amber agrees, she should call it the Stargate. But like, yeah, that's my only issue, is that it feels like it goes cut, 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 cut. It's not for me.
You're not quite sure it's the end.
Yeah. But the Dark Millennium song is awesome.
It feels like a finale, but you're not quite sure.
Right. But it has been a great last day here in Epcot. All right, long distance shot. It's nice to have a long distance visit, a surprise visit from Brittany and Amber. We're glad to have them here with us. So glad that you joined us on our trip here to Epcot. This is our last day in Epcot. Sad face, because this is my favorite park. But just remember, this channel is here to help you have a great time in the Disney parks. And new friends you've never seen before had a great day in the Disney parks. And we're glad to be part of it. So, like Michelle and I always say, We don't like to say goodbye because we're gonna see you real soon. So we say, see you bye.